Imagine waking up one day as a millionaire and watching everything slip through your fingers before you even understand what's happening. It sounds like a nightmare, but for many, it's a harsh reality fueled by bad decisions and a lack of financial education. This story isn't just about money lost, it's about trust misplaced, fortunes wasted, and the emotional toll of hitting rock bottom. What if I told you that the biggest enemy of wealth isn't just bad luck, but the wrong mindset and impulsive choices? The illusion of endless money can blind even the smartest, leading to debt, crisis, and a fall nobody sees coming. But here's the twist: understanding these mistakes is your first step to avoiding the same fate and reclaiming your path to true independence. In this video, we'll dive into the real journey of an ex-millionaire who went from fortune to failure. You'll learn the warning signs, the errors that cost him dearly, and most importantly, the powerful lessons that can help you build a solid, lasting financial future. Ready to see how bad decisions really play out and how you can avoid them? Let's get started. If you really want to start transforming your financial life, the key is to keep it simple. No need to complicate things. I've left a link in the first pinned comment below. Click there and find out how to take your first step. Believe me, you'll be rewarded with everything you need to achieve success. They say luck knocks on the door of those who are ready. In this ex-millionaire's case, it came like a hurricane, an unexpected inheritance, paired with a business that skyrocketed almost overnight. In no time, he went from broke to an 8-figure net worth. It felt like failure was something that only happened to other people. And let's be honest, who hasn't dreamed of a leap like that? But along with the money came a dangerous kind of confidence, the belief that nothing could ever go wrong. Without any financial education, he assumed that as long as the money kept flowing in, he'd never have to worry about losing it. The fortune was growing fast, but without solid roots, and that's where the danger hides. Without proper planning, even the biggest castle can fall in a strong wind, and at that stage, no one wants to hear about limits. Financial independence felt like a sure thing, but it was just a well-packaged illusion. There was no long-term plan, no emergency fund, no diversification. Everything revolved around short-term gains. With so much cash pouring in, who cared about strategy, right? This was the setting for how it all began. And believe me, this is just the beginning. With money pouring in non-stop, he started living like nothing could ever go wrong. Multiple mansions, luxury cars, watches worth more than a condo, everything was about flaunting wealth. It felt like his bank account had no bottom. But the truth is, that inflated lifestyle was a ticking time bomb. No one talks about that at fancy dinners, but even a fortune has limits. He saw nothing wrong with dropping $500,000 on parties, trips, or impulsive whims. Every expense was a celebration of "I made it," without a single thought about tomorrow. The lack of planning was hidden behind a golden glow. Financial education? That was for other people. But luxury, without a solid foundation, is just a trap in disguise. This phase was filled with poor decisions driven by ego and image. He believed he had a millionaire mindset, but in reality, he was feeding reckless spending habits. It was like pouring gasoline on a fire and dancing around it, thinking the flames would never touch him. Financial independence drifted further and further away, though no one seemed to notice yet. Behind every financial downfall, there's often a group of voices whispering in the wrong direction. For him, those voices came from close friends, flashy advisors, and even family members who meant well, but knew little about real financial strategy. They hyped up investments with no future, encouraged spending for status, and dismissed any warning signs. In that crowd, caution looked like weakness. And the more he listened, the further he drifted from solid ground. Some of those so-called mentors had never built anything themselves, yet they spoke with confidence, pushing him toward risky deals and reckless decisions. From exotic investments to lavish business ventures with no backup plans, Their advice felt exciting, but it lacked foundation. The worst part, he ignored experienced professionals in favor of these voices. One bad recommendation after another led straight to financial disaster. These influences fed his ego and blinded him to reality. Every time he hesitated, someone was there to say, "Don't worry, you're a millionaire. You can afford it." That mindset fueled his downfall. What he didn't see then was that following bad advice isn't just a mistake. It's a shortcut to a debt spiral, a crisis of confidence, and ultimately a millionaire-turned cautionary tale. When the money was flowing, every investment looked like a golden ticket. He threw cash into the latest trends cryptocurrencies he didn't understand, tech startups with no track record, and even financial pyramids disguised as exclusive opportunities. It was driven by hype, not homework. He wasn't investing, he was gambling, and every win just made him bolder. These weren't just bad decisions, they were expensive lessons. Without proper financial education, he confused risk with recklessness. No emergency fund, no portfolio diversification, just Allen bets based on emotion and FOMO. Each investment promised fast returns, but reality hit hard. What looked like fortune building quickly turned into loss after loss, sinking deeper into a financial crisis. He thought he was chasing independence, but he was running toward a trap. The allure of easy money blinded him to basic principles like due diligence and long-term planning. One day he was an investor, the next, an ex-millionaire staring at a spreadsheet full of red numbers. Impulsive investments weren't just a mistake, they were a fast track to financial ruin. It's wild how someone can handle millions and still not know how money really works. He never learned about budgeting, never built an emergency fund, and didn't even think twice about diversification. Financial education felt unnecessary. After all, he was already rich, right? But that mindset was the real danger. Without the fundamentals, even a huge fortune can slip through your fingers. He spent like the good times would never end, without tracking a single expense. No cash flow management, no financial goals, just vibes and luxury. When things got rough, there was no cushion, no strategy, just panic. The lack of planning made every setback feel like a collapse. It wasn't just a financial issue, it became a personal crisis. Had he understood even the basics, things could have been different. Budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about control. Emergency funds aren't boring, they're lifesavers. And diversification. That's the difference between surviving a storm and sinking with the ship. Without financial literacy, even the biggest bank account can become a countdown to collapse. It didn't happen overnight, but the signs were there. The fortune he once flaunted was vanishing piece by piece. Bills piled up, assets were liquidated, and the calls from debt collectors became routine. That once glamorous lifestyle, gone. What started as a few bad moves snowballed into a full-blown financial collapse. As his net worth shrank, so did his sense of identity. He wasn't just losing money, he was losing confidence, peace of mind, and even relationships. The weight of the debt was crushing, both financially and emotionally. Depression crept in, anxiety took over. And he started questioning everything, including himself. This was just about numbers anymore, it was about survival. What hit hardest was realizing that independence had turned into dependence. Once admired, he now felt judged, pitied, even forgotten. From ex-millionaire to someone chasing bills, it was a harsh fall. The lack of planning, the investments gone wrong, the pressure to keep up appearances, they all came crashing down at once. And rebuilding felt like an impossible mountain. Looking back, the biggest lesson was simple: slow down and learn the rules before playing the game. If he could do it again, he'd focus on education, planning, and patience instead of chasing quick wins. Understanding the dangers of impulsive decisions and the importance of budgeting, could have saved him from that massive debt spiral and personal crisis. He also realized that surrounding himself with the right people matters. Trusted advisors who value education over flashy promises make all the difference. Financial independence isn't about how much you make, but how wisely you manage and grow what you have. Building a safety net and diversifying investments aren't just buzzwords. They're lifesavers in a stormy market. For anyone starting their wealth journey, the advice is clear. Invest in knowledge, don't fall for ostentation, and keep emotions out of decisions. Remember, mistakes happen, but recovering is possible with the right mindset. Mentalidade milionaria isn't just about money, it's about discipline, resilience, and learning from every stumble. That's the real path to recovery and lasting success. Now that you've seen how quickly fortune can turn into failure, ask yourself, are your financial decisions truly guiding you toward independence, or are you risking falling into the same traps? How well do you understand the power of budgeting, education, and patience in building lasting wealth? The path isn't easy, but with the right mindset, recovery and success are within reach. Remember, every ex-millionaire's story carries a lesson, one that could save you from debt, emotional stress, and wasted opportunities. So, take a moment to reflect. What steps can you take today to strengthen your financial foundation? What habits can you change to avoid impulsive investments and embrace smarter choices? If this story resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. There's more real talk about money, mindset, and mastering your financial future coming your way. Your journey to recovery and independence starts here. Let's walk it together.